Ladies and gentlemen, as we step further into 2025, we find ourselves in a world more connected than ever, where every thought, every moment, every decision can be shared instantly. It's a double-edged sword, a gift and a curse. But amidst this sea of sharing, there are elements of our lives that must remain sacred, shielded, and protected. Today I want to discuss 7 things to keep private in 2025. Not because we should retreat into secrecy, but because privacy at its core is a foundation for strength and authenticity. When you speak prematurely of your aspirations, you dilute their power. Others' opinions, doubts, or even misplaced encouragement can steal the clarity of your vision. Keep your goals close to your heart until you've made substantial progress. Remember, it is the action, not the announcement, that defines your success. Life is a battlefield, and each of us carries wounds unseen by the world. These struggles, however, are not for public consumption. They are meant to teach you, to shape you, to fortify you. Share your lessons, not your wounds, for the world rarely offers the compassion you seek. Family is the crucible where much of our character is forged. But its complexities are often misunderstood by those outside its walls. To invite the world into these sacred dynamics is to risk distortion. Protect your family by resolving issues privately and honoring the bonds that sustain you. Money, whether it flows abundantly or feels scarce, is a deeply personal matter. Sharing too much, whether boasting or lamenting, invites judgment, envy, or exploitation. Let your financial decisions speak louder than any public declaration. In an age where love is flaunted online and heartbreak becomes public spectacle, it's easy to forget that intimacy flourishes in privacy. Shield your partnerships from the noise of the world. True connection requires a sanctuary away from prying eyes. The essence of generosity lies in its authenticity. When we broadcast our good deeds, we risk contaminating them with ego. Let your kindness ripple quietly through the lives of others, leaving a legacy not of applause, but of genuine impact. And most critically, guard your plans and strategies. Life is a chessboard, and the element of surprise often determines the victor. When you reveal your intentions prematurely, you lose your edge. Speak through your actions, not your promises. In 2025, privacy isn't just a preference, it's a necessity. It's the armor that shields your integrity, the fortress that guards your growth, and the sanctuary where your authenticity thrives. So as you navigate this year, ask yourself, what parts of me are sacred? What do I hold dear enough to protect? Because what you keep private is often what defines your strength. In an era dominated by the immediacy of social media and constant connectivity, there is an undeniable allure to sharing our goals and ambitions with the world. Announcing a new project, discussing a career pivot, or revealing personal aspirations often feels empowering. It offers validation and a sense of accountability. But beneath this veneer of encouragement lies a fundamental truth: sharing your dreams too early can be a double-edged sword, one that often cuts deeper than anticipated. When we articulate our goals prematurely, we expose ourselves to external influences that can dilute our focus and determination. Every idea, no matter how pure or well-intentioned, is fragile at its inception. It is like a seed planted in uncertain soil, needing time to root itself before withstanding the elements. Sharing that seedling with others, especially before it has gained strength, invites a host of risks. Opinions, whether supportive or critical, can subtly shape your perception of your own potential. Encouragement might inflate your confidence prematurely, making you less vigilant about the work required. Conversely, skepticism, even when unintended, can plant doubt in your mind, eroding the very foundation of your ambition. There is also a psychological cost to consider. Sharing your goals can provide a premature sense of accomplishment. Studies in behavioral psychology suggest that publicly declaring an intention often satisfies the brain's need for reward. This creates a paradox: you feel a sense of progress simply by sharing your ambition, but the actual work required to achieve it remains undone. The result is a dangerous inertia, where the energy needed to act is spent on seeking external affirmation rather than pursuing the goal itself. Furthermore, sharing your aspirations invites scrutiny. While some may genuinely wish you well, others might harbor jealousy, doubt, or even subtle resistance to your vision. They may project their insecurities onto you, questioning your ability or dismissing the value of your ambition. Such negativity, whether overt or disguised as constructive criticism, can seep into your psyche, complicating your path forward. In contrast, when you keep your goals private, you protect yourself from these distractions. You create a space where your aspirations can grow untainted by the judgments or limitations of others. Another crucial reason to guard your ambitions lies in the importance of momentum. The process of achieving any meaningful goal is arduous, often requiring patience, resilience, and adaptability. Early exposure to external opinions can disrupt this momentum. Imagine starting a long race only to pause repeatedly because onlookers are offering advice on your pace, your stride, or even the route you've chosen. The constant interruption saps your energy and steals your focus. By keeping your ambitions private, you eliminate these interruptions, allowing yourself to channel all your energy into the journey itself. There is also a profound sense of empowerment in silence. When you work on your goals privately, you reclaim control over your narrative. You are no longer performing for an audience or seeking validation. You are simply moving forward, step by step in alignment with your vision. Each milestone achieved in solitude strengthens your resolve and deepens your confidence, creating a reservoir of self-belief that no external opinion can shake. This is not to say you should shun all forms of support or collaboration. Trusted mentors, close friends, and loved ones can play invaluable roles in your journey. The key lies in discernment, sharing your ambitions selectively, and with those who genuinely have your best interests at heart. Even then, the emphasis should remain on action rather than words. Allow your progress to speak louder than your proclamations. The journey to achieving your goals is deeply personal. It is shaped by your unique experiences, values, and determination. When you keep your dreams private, you preserve their authenticity. You give yourself the freedom to stumble, adapt, and grow without the burden of external expectations. You protect the sanctity of your vision, ensuring that it remains yours and yours and yours alone. So the next time you feel the urge to announce your ambitions, pause. Ask yourself, what do I gain by sharing this now? More importantly, what might I lose? In that moment of reflection, you may discover a deeper truth that your goals, like the most precious treasures, deserve to be nurtured in quiet, deliberate care until they are strong enough to shine on their own. Life is inherently challenging, and struggles are an inevitable part of the human experience. They shape who we are, test our resilience, and often pave the way for growth and self-discovery. Yet, in a world increasingly dominated by public sharing, there is an emerging tendency to broadcast personal struggles as they unfold. While this might seem cathartic or even empowering in the moment, sharing our pain prematurely often invites judgment and misunderstanding, hindering the transformative process that challenges are meant to inspire. When we are in the midst of a struggle, emotions are raw and our perspective is limited. Pain clouds judgment, making it difficult to articulate our experiences fully or accurately. Sharing struggles at this vulnerable stage exposes us to external interpretations that may not align with the reality of our situation. Others, no matter how well-intentioned, view our experiences through their own lens, shaped by their beliefs, biases, and understanding. This can lead to advice or opinions that, while seemingly helpful, might lack relevance or depth, leaving us feeling more confused or unsupported. Premature sharing often subjects us to judgment, both explicit and subtle. People may question the choices that led to our struggles, critique our methods of coping, or even trivialize our pain. This judgment, whether expressed openly or through dismissive silence, can compound the sense of isolation and inadequacy that often accompanies hardship. Instead of finding solace or clarity, we may end up feeling more alienated, burdened not only by our struggles but also by the weight of others' perceptions. There is also the risk of misunderstanding. When we share our struggles publicly, the nuances of our experiences are often lost. Social media and casual conversations are not conducive to deep, thoughtful exchanges. As a result, the complexity of our emotions and circumstances is reduced to sound bites, oversimplified narratives that fail to capture the essence of our reality. This can lead to misinterpretations that distort how others view us or how we view ourselves. Such distortions can undermine our confidence, creating unnecessary obstacles in an already difficult journey. Furthermore, sharing struggles too soon can rob us of the opportunity to process and grow from them privately. Pain is not just a burden, it's a teacher. It forces us to confront our limitations, reassess our priorities, and find strength within ourselves that we didn't know existed. This process of self-discovery and growth is deeply personal and often requires solitude. When we broadcast our pain, we risk interrupting this process, replacing introspection with external validation or sympathy. While these external responses might offer temporary comfort, they cannot provide the profound understanding and resilience that come from facing challenges on our own terms. There is immense power in allowing struggles to mature into lessons before sharing them with the world. When we take the time to process our pain, we gain clarity about its meaning and impact. We can articulate our experiences with depth and authenticity, transforming our struggles into stories of resilience and triumph. These stories, shared from a place of healing and understanding, have the power to inspire and uplift others. They become not cries for help, but beacons of hope, testimonies to the strength of the human spirit. This doesn't mean we should endure struggles in complete isolation. Trusted friends, mentors, or therapists can provide invaluable support during difficult times. The key is to be selective and intentional about whom we confide in, ensuring that those we turn to can offer genuine understanding and encouragement. Sharing in these intimate, safe spaces allows us to receive the support we need without the risks associated with public exposure. Our struggles and failures are part of what makes us human. They remind us of our vulnerability, challenge us to grow, and connect us to others on a deeper level. But to fully harness the transformative power of pain, we must protect its sacredness. We must resist the urge to share prematurely, instead embracing the discomfort and allowing it to shape us in meaningful ways. When the time comes to open up, we can do so from a place of strength and wisdom, offering not just our pain, but the invaluable lessons it has taught us. The family is the cornerstone of our lives, shaping our identities, values, and relationships. It is within the family unit that we experience some of our most profound moments of love, conflict, growth, and connection. These dynamics are deeply personal, often intricate, and sometimes fraught with challenges that test the bonds between members. Yet, despite their complexity, family matters remain sacred, a domain where privacy and discretion are not just desirable but essential. When it comes to family dynamics, the temptation to share our experiences with outsiders can be strong. We may feel compelled to seek validation, advice, or simply an outlet for our frustrations. However, opening up about family conflicts or issues to those outside the family often leads to misunderstandings. Outsiders, no matter how well-meaning, cannot fully grasp the nuances of our familial relationships. They view our experiences through their own perspectives, colored by their biases, upbringing, and emotional distance from the situation. This lack of context can result in advice or judgments that, while seemingly supportive, may miss the mark entirely and complicate the situation further. Family matters are deeply intertwined with our sense of identity. Criticism or judgment directed at family members can feel like a personal attack, even when unintended. Sharing family disputes with others invites commentary that may exacerbate tensions within the family. It can create a rift between how we perceive our family and how others perceive them, leading to feelings of defensiveness or guilt. This external interference can amplify conflicts rather than resolve them, leaving relationships strained and unresolved. There is also the issue of loyalty. Family is built on a foundation of trust, and this trust is fragile when privacy is breached. Sharing family conflicts with outsiders can feel like a betrayal to those involved, undermining the very bonds we are trying to protect. Once trust is eroded, it can take significant time and effort to rebuild, creating long-term damage to relationships that could have been avoided with discretion. Resolving family issues privately allows for a level of honesty and vulnerability that is often impossible in the presence of outsiders. Within the family unit, members can express their feelings, perspectives, and grievances without the fear of being judged by those who do not share the same history or context. This creates a space for open communication and mutual understanding, where solutions can be sought collaboratively rather than imposed by external opinions. Privacy also provides an opportunity for growth and reconciliation. Family conflicts, while painful, can be transformative when approached with empathy and a willingness to learn. They challenge us to confront our flaws, understand others' perspectives, and develop deeper emotional intelligence. These lessons are often lost when conflicts are externalized, as the focus shifts from resolution to seeking validation or sympathy from others. By keeping these matters private, we honor the sacredness of family relationships and allow the healing process to unfold naturally. That said, maintaining privacy does not mean enduring toxic or abusive situations in silence. In cases of harm or danger, seeking help from a trusted professional or authority is essential and should not be conflated with breaching family privacy. However, for the everyday conflicts and challenges that arise in familial relationships, discretion remains a powerful tool for preserving harmony and fostering resolution. It is also important to recognize that the act of keeping family matters private is an act of respect. It acknowledges the individuality of each family member and their right to navigate personal relationships without the scrutiny or interference of others. This respect lays the groundwork for stronger, more resilient bonds that can weather the inevitable storms of life. Family dynamics are as unique as the individuals who comprise them. They are woven from shared histories, memories, and emotions that outsiders cannot fully comprehend. By protecting the sanctity of these relationships and resolving issues privately, we not only safeguard our family's integrity but also cultivate a deeper sense of connection and understanding. In doing so, we honor the sacredness of the bonds that hold us together, ensuring they remain strong, meaningful, and enduring. Money, while often a necessary tool for navigating life, is a deeply personal aspect of our existence. It represents more than numbers in a bank account. It signifies security, opportunity, and sometimes even self-worth. However, in a world where financial achievements or struggles are increasingly broadcasted, the question arises: how much should we really share about our financial status? The answer, quite simply, is very little. Whether you are thriving or struggling, revealing too much about your financial situation can lead to unnecessary pressure, misunderstandings, and even unwanted attention. For those experiencing financial success, the temptation to share can be strong. Society often equates wealth with accomplishment, and there is a natural desire to showcase one's hard-earned achievements. Yet this display can come at a cost. Sharing your financial prosperity publicly may attract envy or resentment, even from those you least expect. People may perceive your success as a threat or compare their own circumstances unfavorably to yours, leading to strained relationships. Moral wealth often invites unsolicited opinions, advice, or even requests for financial assistance, placing you in uncomfortable or compromising positions. Financial success also brings with it certain vulnerabilities. Publicly revealing your affluence can attract individuals with ulterior motives, those who seek to exploit your resources rather than engage with you authentically. It can make you a target for scams, theft, or manipulation. By keeping the specifics of your financial status private, you maintain control over your narrative and protect yourself from these risks. On the other hand, sharing financial struggles can also be fraught with challenges. While it is natural to seek empathy or support during difficult times, revealing financial hardship often invites judgment or pity. People may make assumptions about your decisions, your character, or even your capabilities based on your current financial state. This judgment, whether overt or subtle, can exacerbate feelings of inadequacy and isolation, making an already difficult situation harder to navigate. Financial struggles are often temporary, a phase that can be addressed through planning, hard work, or external support. By sharing these struggles publicly, you risk defining yourself by a momentary setback rather than the broader trajectory of your life. The narrative you create around your finances can influence how others perceive you, but more importantly, can shape how you perceive yourself. Retaining privacy allows you to focus on solutions rather than perceptions, empowering you to work through challenges with dignity and resilience. Another critical aspect of financial privacy is the ability to make decisions without undue influence. When others are aware of your financial situation, whether prosperous or precarious, they may feel entitled to weigh in on your choices. This can create a sense of pressure to conform to others' expectations, even when those expectations do not align with your values or goals. By keeping your financial status private, you preserve the autonomy to make decisions that best serve your circumstances and aspirations. Financial privacy fosters a sense of equality in relationships. Money can be a polarizing factor, creating divides between people of differing economic circumstances. When financial information is shared indiscriminately, it can subtly influence how people relate to one another, introducing dynamics of power, envy, or obligation. By maintaining discretion, you ensure that your relationships are built on mutual respect and understanding rather than financial comparisons. This is not to say that financial matters should be kept secret from everyone. Trusted advisors, financial planners, or close family members may need to understand your situation to provide guidance or support. However, the key is discernment, sharing only with those who genuinely have your best interests at heart and who are equipped to help you navigate your financial path. Money is a tool, not a measure of your worth or identity. Whether you are experiencing abundance or navigating scarcity, your financial status is a private aspect of your life that deserves respect and discretion. By keeping it protected, you shield yourself from unnecessary distractions, pressures, and vulnerabilities, allowing you to focus on what truly matters, building a life of purpose, integrity, and fulfillment. Romantic relationships hold a special place in our lives, serving as a source of love, companionship, and mutual growth. They provide a sanctuary where we can be our most authentic selves, sharing vulnerabilities, dreams, and joys with someone who truly understands us. However, in today's age of digital transparency and social media oversharing, the sacredness of romantic relationships is increasingly under threat. While it may seem harmless or even fulfilling to share the details of your partnership with others, whether online or in social circles, doing so can unintentionally expose your relationship to unnecessary scrutiny and pressure. Relationships, like delicate plants, thrive best when nurtured away from the glare of public attention. At the heart of a romantic relationship lies intimacy, a deep connection built on trust, respect, and emotional vulnerability. This intimacy is inherently private, a bond meant to be shared exclusively between two people. When aspects of this bond are exposed to others, be it through social media posts, casual conversations, or even seeking external validation, the very foundation of intimacy can be compromised. Sharing too much invites outside perspectives, opinions, and judgments, which can distort the pure connection you share with your partner. Public scrutiny often brings with it the burden of expectations. Once your relationship becomes a topic of public interest, people start forming opinions about it, what it should look like, how you should act as a couple, or what milestones you should achieve. These expectations can create pressure to conform to an idealized version of a relationship, one that may not align with your reality or personal dynamics. This external influence can lead to feelings of inadequacy or dissatisfaction, even if the relationship is perfectly fulfilling in its own unique way. Constant public exposure can erode the boundaries that protect a relationship's integrity. Arguments, misunderstandings, and challenges are natural in any partnership. But when these moments are shared with others, they become subject to analysis and judgment. Friends, family, or even acquaintances may feel compelled to offer unsolicited advice or take sides, complicating the process of resolving issues. In contrast, when conflicts are handled privately, they allow for honest communication, mutual understanding, and growth free from the noise of outside opinions. There is also a risk of comparison. In today's social media-driven culture, where relationships are often showcased through curated snapshots of romance and happiness, it's easy to fall into the trap of comparing your partnership to others. These comparisons can breed insecurity, making you question the authenticity or value of your relationship based on superficial metrics. The truth is, no two relationships are alike, and their success cannot be measured by external validation. Keeping your relationship private helps you focus on what truly matters, the connection you share with your partner. Maintaining privacy also fosters a sense of safety within the relationship. When both partners feel that their vulnerabilities, challenges, and shared moments are protected, they are more likely to open up and invest in the relationship. This sense of safety strengthens trust, creating a solid foundation for long-term growth and resilience. On the other hand, publicizing the relationship may lead to a reluctance to share openly, as partners fear their private moments may be exposed or misinterpreted by others. This is not to say that relationships should be kept secret or hidden. Sharing milestones or celebrating your partner can be a beautiful expression of love and pride. The key lies in balance, knowing which aspects of your relationship are appropriate to share and which are best kept between you and your partner. By being intentional about what you reveal, you maintain control over your narrative while preserving the sanctity of your connection. It's also worth noting that nurturing a private relationship doesn't mean avoiding support or guidance when needed. Trusted confidants or professionals can provide valuable insights during challenging times. The difference lies in sharing selectively, seeking input only from those who genuinely care about your well-being and understand the nuances of your relationship. Romantic relationships flourish in an environment of respect, understanding, and privacy. They require time, effort, and attention to grow, free from the distractions and distortions of public scrutiny. By protecting the sanctity of your partnership, you create a space where love can deepen, trust can thrive, and your bond can endure the inevitable ups and downs of life. In doing so, you honor the uniqueness of your relationship, allowing it to remain a source of strength, joy, and mutual fulfillment. Acts of kindness and good deeds are among the most powerful ways to create positive change in the world. They embody the essence of humanity, reminding us of our shared responsibility to care for one another. However, the authenticity of these actions lies not in recognition or applause, but in their sincerity and selflessness. True altruism requires humility, a commitment to doing good for its own sake, rather than for external validation. When we advertise our good deeds, we risk diminishing their impact and transforming them into acts of self-promotion rather than genuine care. The value of a good deed stems from its purity. When an act of kindness is performed with no expectation of reward or acknowledgement, it resonates deeply with both the giver and the receiver. It becomes a testament to the beauty of giving for the sake of giving, free from ego or ulterior motives. Sharing or publicizing such deeds, however, can shift the focus away from the act itself and onto the individual who performed it. This shift may inadvertently undermine the original intent, reducing the deed to a means of garnering praise or admiration. Publicizing good deeds also risks creating a culture of performative altruism. In today's interconnected world, where social media often serves as a stage for personal branding, the line between genuine kindness and self-serving gestures can blur. When acts of kindness are showcased for likes, shares, or public recognition, they can lose their authenticity. This performative approach may inspire skepticism rather than encouragement, leading people to question the motivations behind the actions. True kindness, on the other hand, has the power to inspire silently, leaving a lasting impression without the need for fanfare. Advertising good deeds can inadvertently place pressure on the recipient. When kindness is made public, the individual on the receiving end may feel obligated to express gratitude in a way that aligns with the expectations of the audience rather than their genuine feelings. This dynamic can strip the act of its intended simplicity, making the recipient feel like a participant in someone else's narrative rather than the beneficiary of a heartfelt gesture. By keeping kindness private, we preserve the dignity of those we help, allowing them to receive without the weight of public scrutiny. In giving also allows us to stay focused on the true purpose of our actions. The act of helping others should be driven by compassion and a desire to make a difference, not by a need for recognition. When we perform good deeds quietly, we shift the emphasis from ourselves to the impact of the action. This perspective fosters a deeper connection to the act of giving and helps us cultivate a sense of gratitude for the opportunity to contribute to the well-being of others. There is also a profound personal benefit to practicing humility and kindness. When we give without seeking acknowledgement, we free ourselves from the influence of external opinions. This freedom allows us to focus on what truly matters, making a meaningful difference in the lives of others. The joy and fulfillment that come from such acts are internal and enduring, untouched by the fleeting nature of public validation. This is not to say that acts of kindness should always remain hidden. In some cases, sharing stories of generosity can inspire others to act and create a ripple effect of positivity. However, the intention behind such sharing is key. If the goal is to uplift and motivate, rather than to draw attention to oneself, the act retains its integrity. Even then, it is often more effective to highlight the cause or the impact of the action rather than the individual performing it. The greatest acts of kindness are those performed in silence with no expectation of reward. They stem from a place of genuine empathy and a desire to contribute to the greater good. By resisting the urge to advertise our good deeds, we honor their true essence, allowing them to stand as pure expressions of love, care, and humanity. In doing so, we not only preserve the authenticity of our actions, but also set an example of humility and selflessness that has the power to inspire others to give from the heart. In conclusion, the importance of privacy in our lives cannot be overstated. From personal struggles to financial matters, family dynamics, romantic relationships, and even the good deeds we perform, there is immense value in keeping certain aspects of our lives private. In 2025, as we navigate a world that constantly encourages oversharing, it is crucial to protect the sanctity of our most personal experiences. Maintaining privacy allows us to preserve our integrity, foster genuine connections, and nurture our growth. It empowers us to make decisions based on our own values and priorities, without the interference of external pressures or judgments. By being selective about what we share and with whom, we honor the authenticity and depth of our lives, ensuring that the things that matter most remain protected. Thank you for your time and attention today. May we all find the courage to preserve the privacy and sanctity of the most meaningful parts of our lives in this ever-connected world. Imagine for a moment that the answers to every question, the solution to every problem, and the fulfillment of every desire already exist. Where would you search for them? Would you wander the world chasing fleeting treasures? Or would you turn inward, seeking the eternal source? To seek the kingdom of God is not a journey outward, it is an awakening within. The kingdom is not a place you visit, it is a state of being you embody. Scripture tells us the kingdom of God is within you. This is not metaphorical, it is literal. Within the depths of your consciousness lies the infinite power to create, transform, and manifest. To enter this kingdom, you must first align yourself with its laws. These are not the laws of man, bound by limitation and fear. No, these are the laws of faith, imagination, and divine certainty. The kingdom responds not to your words, but to your inner conviction. It recognizes the language of feeling. Ask yourself, do you feel as though you already possess what you seek? Do you see yourself as the person you desire to be? If not, you have yet to find the kingdom. For in the kingdom there is no lack, no struggle, no separation from your desires. Everything exists in divine completion. Faith is your key. To believe without doubt, to trust without wavering, is to align yourself with the infinite. But faith is more than belief, it is a knowing that surpasses evidence. It is the willingness to step into the unknown, trusting that the unseen will reveal itself. Begin now by assuming the feeling of your wish fulfilled. Close your eyes and imagine the life you desire. Feel the joy, the peace, the gratitude as though it is already yours. This is how you seek the kingdom, not through striving, but through surrendering to the truth of your being. Detach yourself from the illusions of the outer world. The physical realm may tempt you with appearances of lack, but they are shadows of a deeper reality. Do not be swayed by what your eyes see. Instead, trust what your heart knows. Give thanks. Gratitude is the vibration of abundance, and it draws to you all that you desire. When you are thankful as though you already have, the kingdom opens its doors. Seek first the kingdom of God, not through effort, but through faith, imagination, and love, and all things shall be added unto you. The kingdom is here, it is now, and it is yours. The kingdom of God is not a place you can physically visit, nor is it something you can discover through external means. It is not hidden in the far corners of the earth, nor does it require a pilgrimage to sacred sites. The kingdom resides within you, waiting patiently for your recognition. It has always been there, untouched by the limitations of time and space, and it holds the answers to the deepest questions of your soul. To understand this, you must first realize that the external world is but a reflection of your inner state. What you see, feel, and experience outwardly originates from the invisible realm within you. This is the divine truth that so many overlook, distracted by the illusions of the physical world. They seek fulfillment in material possessions, validation from others, or status and success, only to find these pursuits leave them feeling empty. Why? Because they are looking in the wrong place. The kingdom of God does not operate on the level of the external. It is the source from which all things flow. The key to unlocking this kingdom is awareness. Most people live their lives unaware of the immense power within them. They are like heirs to a great fortune who have forgotten their inheritance. The moment you awaken to the truth that the kingdom resides within you, everything changes. You no longer feel bound by circumstances, for you understand that you are the creator of your reality. The power to transform your life lies not in changing the external, but in transforming the inner landscape of your consciousness. Think of your consciousness as the soil of the kingdom. What you plant there through your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs will grow and manifest in the physical world. This is why seeking the kingdom within is so vital. When you cultivate thoughts of love, faith, and abundance, you align yourself with the divine laws that govern creation. When you dwell in fear, doubt, or lack, you cut yourself off from the limitless resources of the kingdom. The choice is always yours, for the kingdom responds to your state of being. The kingdom is not something you earn or achieve. It is not a reward for good behavior or a prize to be won. It is your birthright. You are already a part of it, and it is already a part of you. The only thing required is your recognition. This recognition does not come through intellectual reasoning or external validation. It comes through a deep, intuitive knowing that transcends the mind. It is a quiet realization that you are one with the divine and the divine is one with you. When you begin to live from this understanding, you will notice a profound shift in your life. The struggles that once seemed insurmountable will lose their power over you. The desires that once felt out of reach will flow effortlessly into your experience. This is not because the external world has changed, but because you have aligned yourself with the truth of who you are. The kingdom within you is limitless. It knows no lack, no fear, and no separation. It is pure love, creativity, and abundance. To access the kingdom, you must quiet the noise of the outer world and turn inward. Spend time in stillness, in prayer, or in meditation. These practices help you peel away the layers of doubt and distraction that obscure the kingdom's presence. As you do, you will feel a sense of peace and certainty that nothing in the external world can shake. This is the power of the kingdom. It is unchanging, eternal, and ever present. The kingdom within you is not just a concept, it is a living reality. It is the source of your being, the essence of your soul, and the wellspring of all that is good. It is not waiting for you to find it, for it has never been lost. It is simply waiting for you to recognize it, to turn inward, and to claim the divine inheritance that is already yours. Once you do, you will understand the profound truth that the kingdom of God is not a distant promise, it is a present reality within you, now and always. The kingdom of God is not a place you can physically visit, nor is it something you can discover through external means. It is not hidden in the far corners of the earth, nor does it require a pilgrimage to sacred sites. The kingdom resides within you, waiting patiently for your recognition. It has always been there, untouched by the limitations of time and space, and it holds the answers to the deepest questions of your soul. To understand this, you must first realize that the external world is but a reflection of your inner state. What you see, feel, and experience outwardly originates from the invisible realm within you. This is the divine truth that so many overlook, distracted by the illusions of the physical world. They seek fulfillment in material possessions, validation from others, or status and success, only to find these pursuits leave them feeling empty. Why? Because they are looking in the wrong place. The kingdom of God does not operate on the level of the external. It is the source from which all things flow. The key to unlocking this kingdom is awareness. Most people live their lives unaware of the immense power within them. They are like heirs to a great fortune who have forgotten their inheritance. The moment you awaken to the truth that the kingdom resides within you, everything changes. You no longer feel bound by circumstances, for you understand that you are the creator of your reality. The power to transform your life lies not in changing the external, but in transforming the inner landscape of your consciousness. Think of your consciousness as the soil of the kingdom. What you plant there through your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs will grow and manifest in the physical world. This is why seeking the kingdom within is so vital. When you cultivate thoughts of love, faith, and abundance, you align yourself with the divine laws that govern creation. When you dwell in fear, doubt, or lack, you cut yourself off from the limitless resources of the kingdom. The choice is always yours, for the kingdom responds to your state of being. The kingdom is not something you earn or achieve. It is not a reward for good behavior or a prize to be won. It is your birthright. You are already a part of it, and it is already a part of you. The only thing required is your recognition. This recognition does not come through intellectual reasoning or external validation. It comes through a deep, intuitive knowing that transcends the mind. It is a quiet realization that you are one with the divine, and the divine is one with you. When you begin to live from this understanding, you will notice a profound shift in your life. The struggles that once seemed insurmountable will lose their power over you. The desires that once felt out of reach will flow effortlessly into your experience. This is not because the external world has changed, but because you have aligned yourself with the truth of who you are. The kingdom within you is limitless. It knows no lack, no fear, and no separation. It is pure love, creativity, and abundance. To access the kingdom, you must quiet the noise of the outer world and turn inward. Spend time in stillness, in prayer, or in meditation. These practices help you peel away the layers of doubt and distraction that obscure the kingdom's presence. As you do, you will feel a sense of peace and certainty that nothing in the external world can shake. This is the power of the kingdom. It is unchanging, eternal, and ever present. The kingdom within you is not just a concept, it is a living reality. It is the source of your being, the essence of your soul, and the wellspring of all that is good. It is not waiting for you to find it, for it has never been lost. It is simply waiting for you to recognize it, to turn inward, and to claim the divine inheritance that is already yours. Once you do, you will understand the profound truth that the kingdom of God is not a distant promise, it is a present reality, within you, now and always. To seek the kingdom of God is to align your inner world with the divine vision, a vision where all things are possible and limitations dissolve in the face of infinite potential. The divine vision is not something foreign or distant. It is the blueprint of perfection that exists within you, silently guiding you toward your highest self. To align with it, you must first understand that this vision is rooted in love, abundance, and creativity. It is a reflection of the divine mind, ever expanding and endlessly giving. The process of alignment begins with awareness. Most people go through life unaware of the divine vision within them. They are so consumed by the noise of the outer world, the fears, doubts, and distractions that they fail to recognize the still, small voice calling them to something greater. This voice is not loud or forceful, it is gentle and persistent, urging you to rise above appearances and embrace the truth of your being. To align with the divine vision, you must first quiet the noise of the world. Turn inward and listen. In the silence you will find clarity. In the stillness you will perceive the vision that has always been within you. This vision does not come from your physical senses or the reasoning of your mind. It comes from the deeper part of you, the part that knows no separation from the divine. Once you perceive this vision, your task is to bring your inner world into harmony with it. This means shifting your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs to align with the truth that all things are possible. If you hold thoughts of limitation or doubt, you are out of alignment with the divine vision. If you allow fear or negativity to dominate your emotions, you are closing yourself off from the limitless possibilities of the kingdom. Aligning with the divine vision requires faith in the unseen, faith in the power within you, and faith in the perfection of the divine plan. This faith is not blind optimism, it is a deep knowing that transcends appearances. Even when the external world seems chaotic or discouraging, faith anchors you in the reality of the kingdom, where all things are already accomplished. To cultivate this faith, practice seeing beyond the physical. When you look at your circumstances, do not accept them as fixed or final. Instead, see them as malleable, shaped by the power of your inner vision. Imagine the life you desire as though it is already yours. Feel the joy, the peace, and the fulfillment of living in alignment with the divine. This is not wishful thinking, it is the creative process by which the kingdom operates. As you align your inner world with the divine vision, you will notice a profound transformation in your life. Opportunities will appear where there seemed to be none. Relationships will flourish and obstacles will dissolve. This is not because the outer world has suddenly changed, it is because your inner alignment has shifted, and the outer world must reflect this change. The physical realm is a mirror of your inner state, and when your inner world is in harmony with the divine vision, the mirror reflects beauty, abundance, and perfection. The divine vision also calls you to live in integrity with your highest self. This means acting in ways that align with love, compassion, and truth. It means letting go of behaviors and attitudes that are rooted in fear or selfishness. When you live in alignment with the divine vision, your actions become an extension of your inner harmony. You radiate the qualities of the kingdom: peace, joy, and abundance, and these qualities ripple out to bless others. It is important to understand that aligning with the divine vision is not a one-time event, but a continuous process. Life will present challenges and distractions, tempting you to fall back into old patterns of doubt and fear. In these moments, return to the vision. Remind yourself of the truth that the kingdom is within you and that all things are possible. Through persistence and faith, this alignment becomes your natural state. You no longer strive or struggle, for you are in harmony with the flow of divine creation. The vision guides you effortlessly, and you move through life with a sense of purpose and grace. The kingdom is not something you seek outside yourself, it is the reality you embody when you align with the divine vision within. This is the path to fulfillment, peace, and infinite possibility. Faith is the cornerstone of accessing the kingdom of God, the unseen reality that exists beyond the limits of our physical senses. It is the pathway that bridges the gap between what is visible and what is yet to manifest. To walk this path, you must cultivate an unwavering belief in the unseen, a belief that is not dictated by appearances or circumstances, but is rooted in the truth of your divine nature. Faith is the foundation upon which the kingdom stands, and without it, the doors to infinite possibilities remain closed. Faith begins with the recognition that there is more to life than what meets the eye. The physical world, as tangible as it seems, is but a shadow of a deeper, more profound reality. This unseen reality, the kingdom of God, operates on principles that transcend the material. It is a realm of infinite potential, where all things are possible, and where every desire and dream already exist in its perfect form. To access this realm, you must trust in its existence, even when there is no physical evidence to support it. This trust, however, is not blind or naive. It is a deep inner knowing, a certainty that goes beyond logic or reason. It is the quiet assurance that the power of the divine is working within you, even when the outer world appears unchanged. This kind of faith requires you to shift your focus from the external to the internal, from the seen to the unseen. It asks you to rely not on what your eyes can see, but on what your heart knows to be true. Faith is not passive, it is an active force that shapes your reality. When you hold a vision of what you desire and maintain faith in its fulfillment, you align yourself with the creative power of the kingdom. This alignment is not about hoping or wishing, it is about knowing. It is standing firm in the belief that what you seek is already yours, even before it appears in your experience. This unwavering belief creates a vibrational match between you and your desire, drawing it into your life with the certainty of divine law. Doubt is the greatest enemy of faith. When you allow doubt to enter your mind, you sever the connection between you and the kingdom. Doubt arises when you focus on appearances and allow them to dictate your beliefs. It whispers that your desires are too big, that the obstacles are too great, or that you are unworthy of receiving what you seek. To overcome doubt, you must anchor yourself in the truth that the kingdom is not limited by the physical world. It operates on a higher plane, where all things are possible. One of the most powerful ways to cultivate faith is through imagination. Imagination is the tool by which you connect with the unseen reality of the kingdom. When you imagine your desires as already fulfilled, you create a mental blueprint that the divine power within you brings to life. This act of imagining is not mere fantasy, it is a spiritual practice that activates the creative forces of the universe. It allows you to see beyond appearances and focus on the truth of what is possible. It also requires patience. The kingdom operates in perfect timing, which often differs from our own expectations. When you plant a seed of faith, you must give it time to grow. Impatience is a sign of doubt, a lack of trust in the process. True faith remains steadfast, even when the results are not immediately visible. It understands that delays are not denials but opportunities for greater growth and alignment. Living with faith transforms every aspect of your life. It replaces fear with confidence, lack with abundance, and struggle with ease. It allows you to navigate challenges with grace, knowing that the power of the kingdom is always working on your behalf. Faith gives you the strength to let go of control and trust in the divine order of things. It frees you from the need to force outcomes, allowing you to flow with the natural rhythm of creation. Faith is the pathway to the kingdom, because it aligns you with the divine power within you. It is the key that unlocks the door to infinite possibilities, the bridge that connects you to your highest self. When you live with faith, you are no longer a passive observer of life, you become a conscious creator, shaping your reality in harmony with the divine. Faith is not just a belief, it is a way of being, a state of mind that opens the floodgates of the kingdom and allows its blessings to flow into every area of your life. Entering the kingdom of God begins with a profound yet simple truth. To experience the reality you desire, you must first assume the feeling of your wish already fulfilled. This is not a passive act but an intentional shift in consciousness, where you move from hoping and waiting to living as though your desired state is already your reality. By doing so, you align yourself with the creative power of the kingdom and what you imagine inwardly becomes your external experience. To assume the feeling of your desired state, you must understand that creation begins within. The outer world is a reflection of your inner state, and what you feel, believe, and imagine inwardly is inevitably mirrored in your external circumstances. Most people wait for external changes to dictate their feelings, believing they will feel happy or fulfilled once they achieve their desires. However, this approach is backward. The kingdom operates on a higher law. You must first feel the reality of your desire within yourself, and only then will it manifest in the world around you. This practice requires living in the end. Living in the end means fully immersing yourself in the experience of your wish fulfilled. It is not enough to think about your desire or visualize it as something distant. You must feel it as real and present now. Imagine yourself already possessing what you seek. See it in your mind's eye, hear the sounds, and feel the emotions as though it is already yours. This is not daydreaming, it is the deliberate creation of your reality. The key to this process is emotion. Feeling is the language of the kingdom, the bridge between your inner world and the outer manifestation. When you assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled, you activate the creative power within you, setting the wheels of divine law into motion. The intensity and sincerity of your feelings determine the speed and clarity with which your desire takes form. Half-hearted or doubtful emotions create mixed results, but unwavering faith in your imagined reality ensures its eventual realization. This practice also requires discipline of mind. The world will often present you with evidence contrary to your desire, tempting you to doubt or abandon your vision. To live in the end, you must remain steadfast, refusing to be swayed by appearances. This is not denial of reality, but recognition that the true reality lies within you. The outer world is fluid, shaped by the power of your inner assumptions. As you persist in assuming the feeling of your desired state, the external world will inevitably conform to match it. Living in the end also involves letting go of how your desire will manifest. The kingdom operates with perfect wisdom and timing, orchestrating circumstances in ways that often surpass human understanding. Your task is not to figure out the how, but to remain faithful to the what, the feeling of your wish fulfilled. Trust that the divine power within you knows the best way to bring your desire into being. It is important to approach this practice with a sense of gratitude and joy. Gratitude is a powerful amplifier of your inner state, signaling to the kingdom that you are ready to receive. By feeling grateful for your desire as though it is already yours, you create a vibrational match with the reality you wish to experience. This gratitude is not forced or contrived, it is a natural response to the realization that the kingdom is always working for your highest good. As you assume the feeling of your desired state, you may notice subtle but profound changes in your behavior, thoughts, and interactions. You begin to carry yourself with the confidence and peace of someone who knows their desires are assured. Opportunities, people, and circumstances align effortlessly, as though the universe itself is conspiring to bring your vision to life. This is the power of living in the end, a power that transforms not only your external reality but also your inner sense of self. Assuming the feeling of your desired state is an act of faith and surrender. It is a declaration that you trust in the power of the kingdom within you, that you believe in the reality of your imagination more than the limitations of the physical world. This shift in consciousness is the key to unlocking the infinite potential of the kingdom, where every dream, desire, and wish is already complete. By living in the end, you step into your divine inheritance, experiencing life as it was always meant to be, abundant, joyful, and aligned with the limitless possibilities of the divine. The physical world often presents a mirage of limitation, a convincing illusion that what you desire is distant, difficult, or impossible to attain. It weaves a narrative of scarcity, lack, and separation, urging you to believe in its constraints and accept them as absolute. But the truth is, these appearances are not reality. They are temporary shadows cast by the deeper, infinite reality of the kingdom of God within you. To seek the kingdom, you must rise above these illusions and detach from the belief in lack. You must recognize that the limitations of the outer world have no power except that which you grant them. The illusion of lack is rooted in the senses. When you observe the world through the lens of physical evidence alone, it is easy to feel bound by its seeming limitations. You may see insufficient resources, unfulfilled desires, or obstacles that appear insurmountable. But these perceptions are not reflective of the truth. They are projections of a limited understanding shaped by fear, doubt, and disbelief. The kingdom calls you to see beyond appearances and anchor yourself in the reality of abundance and fulfillment that exists within. To detach from the illusion of lack, you must first understand its nature. Lack is not a condition of the external world, it is a state of consciousness. When you believe in scarcity, you create it in your experience. Your focus on what is missing perpetuates the very absence you seek to overcome. This is the paradox of lack. The more you dwell on it, the more real it becomes. But the moment you shift your focus to the infinite abundance of the kingdom, the illusion begins to dissolve, and you align yourself with the limitless supply of the divine. This shift in focus requires a deliberate reprogramming of the mind. You must train yourself to see beyond the evidence of the senses and trust in the unseen reality of the kingdom. This is not about denying the challenges of the physical world, but about recognizing that they do not define your ultimate truth. The kingdom operates on a higher plane, where lack does not exist and every need is already met. By aligning your thoughts and feelings with this higher reality, you rise above the illusion and step into the flow of divine abundance. Detachment from lack also involves releasing attachment to specific outcomes. Often the illusion of lack is perpetuated by a fixation on how your desires should manifest. You may cling to a particular path or time frame, believing that fulfillment can only come in one way. But the kingdom operates with infinite creativity, often bringing about your desires in ways you could never predict or imagine. By letting go of rigid expectations, you open yourself to the limitless possibilities of divine provision. Gratitude is a powerful tool for breaking free from the illusion of lack. When you focus on what you already have, you shift your awareness from scarcity to abundance. Gratitude amplifies your connection to the kingdom, reminding you that you are always provided for, and that there is no true lack in the divine reality. This sense of thankfulness creates a fertile ground for the manifestation of your desires, allowing the riches of the kingdom to flow into your life effortlessly. Faith plays a crucial role in this process. To detach from the illusion of lack, you must cultivate an unshakable belief in the abundance of the kingdom. This faith is not blind optimism, it is a deep knowing that the power of the divine is greater than any appearance of limitation. When you trust in the infinite supply of the kingdom, you no longer feel the need to strive or struggle. Instead, you rest in the assurance that all your needs are already met, and you allow this inner certainty to shape your outer reality. Rising above the illusion of lack also requires a shift in identity. As long as you see yourself as separate from the divine, you will feel incomplete and lacking. But when you recognize that the kingdom is within you, that you are one with its infinite power and intelligence, you transcend the illusion of separation. You no longer see yourself as a limited being trying to attain something external. Instead, you understand that everything you desire is already yours, waiting to be claimed through your awareness. Detaching from lack is not about ignoring the challenges of life, but about approaching them from a higher perspective. It is about seeing obstacles as opportunities for growth, scarcity as an invitation to trust, and setbacks as stepping stones toward greater alignment with the kingdom. This perspective transforms your relationship with the world, allowing you to navigate it with confidence, peace, and purpose. The illusion of lack loses its grip the moment you awaken to the truth of the kingdom within you. By detaching from the belief in limitation and embracing the reality of infinite abundance, you step into your divine inheritance. The physical world may continue to present appearances of lack, but they no longer have power over you. You walk with the assurance that the kingdom is your true reality, a reality where every need is met, every desire is fulfilled, and every possibility is within reach. Gratitude is the master key to the treasures of the kingdom. It is not merely a polite acknowledgement or a fleeting emotion, but a profound state of being that aligns you with the divine flow of abundance. Gratitude opens the doors to all that you seek by shifting your consciousness from lack to fulfillment, from separation to oneness. It allows you to dwell in the reality of your desires fulfilled, making them tangible and present in your life. The essence of gratitude lies in giving thanks as though your prayers have already been answered. This is a radical departure from the common approach of waiting for external circumstances to change before expressing appreciation. When you practice gratitude in this way, you declare your faith in the unseen, affirming that the reality you desire already exists within the kingdom. You step into the vibration of your fulfilled desire, and in doing so you call it forth into your experience. Gratitude is not bound by conditions. It does not depend on what you can see, hear, or touch in the physical world. True gratitude springs from a deeper knowing, a recognition of the infinite abundance that surrounds you and flows through you. When you cultivate this awareness, you realize that there is no lack, no separation, and no limitation in the kingdom. Everything you could ever need or desire is already yours, waiting for you to claim it through your consciousness. This practice of gratitude requires a shift in perspective. Instead of focusing on what is missing or what is not yet materialized, you direct your attention to the blessings already present in your life. These blessings may be as simple as the air you breathe, the warmth of the sun, or the love of a friend. By acknowledging and appreciating these gifts, you attune yourself to the frequency of abundance. The more you give thanks, the more you align with the flow of the kingdom, and the more you open yourself to receive. Gratitude also amplifies the creative power within you. When you give thanks for your desires as though they are already fulfilled, you impress this reality upon your subconscious mind. The subconscious, being the creative medium of the kingdom, responds to this impression by bringing it into form. Your consistent gratitude acts as a seed planted in the fertile soil of your consciousness that grows and manifests in the physical world. This practice requires faith and imagination. It may feel unnatural at first to give thanks for something you cannot yet see or touch. But this is where the power of the kingdom lies, in the unseen, in the realm of infinite possibilities. By giving thanks in advance, you activate the creative forces of the universe, signaling your readiness to receive. You move beyond doubt and hesitation, stepping into the certainty that your desires are already yours. Gratitude also dissolves resistance. When you focus on what you are thankful for, you shift your energy from fear and worry to love and trust. This shift allows you to release the struggle and effort that often accompany the pursuit of your desires. Instead of striving to make things happen, you relax into the flow of the kingdom, knowing that everything is unfolding perfectly. Gratitude becomes a bridge between your inner vision and its outer manifestation. Furthermore, gratitude transforms your relationships and interactions. When you approach others with a spirit of thankfulness, you create an atmosphere of harmony and connection. Your gratitude uplifts those around you, inspiring them to recognize their own blessings. This ripple effect spreads outward, enriching not only your life but the lives of everyone you encounter. In this way, gratitude becomes a force for collective good, multiplying the treasures of the kingdom. Practicing gratitude also strengthens your trust in divine timing. There may be moments when your desires seem delayed or unattainable. In these moments, gratitude anchors you in the assurance that the kingdom is always working for your highest good. By giving thanks for what is yet to come, you affirm your faith in the divine plan, trusting that everything will manifest at the perfect time and in the perfect way. Gratitude is a recognition of your oneness with the divine. When you give thanks, you affirm that you are not separate from the source of all abundance, but an integral part of it. This awareness dissolves the illusion of lack and empowers you to claim your inheritance as a child of the kingdom. Gratitude becomes not just a practice, but a way of life, a continual acknowledgement of the infinite blessings that flow to you and through you. As you embody gratitude, you unlock the doors to the treasures of the kingdom. You step into a reality where every prayer is answered, every need is met, and every desire is fulfilled. Gratitude transforms your consciousness, allowing you to live in the fullness of the kingdom here and now. By giving thanks, not as a reaction but as a declaration, you align yourself with the divine flow and open the way for miracles to unfold in your life. In seeking the kingdom of God, you embark on a journey that begins within. It is a path that calls for alignment with the divine vision, unwavering faith, and the ability to assume the feeling of your desires already fulfilled. It challenges you to rise above the illusions of lack, embrace gratitude as a living reality, and trust in the unseen power that governs all things. This journey is not one of striving but of surrender, letting go of fear, doubt, and separation to step into the infinite abundance, love, and wisdom that have always been yours. The kingdom is not a distant destination, it is the essence of who you are. By turning inward and aligning your consciousness with the divine, you unlock its treasures and bring its fullness into your daily life. Every thought, feeling, and belief becomes a prayer, shaping your reality and drawing you closer to the realization of your highest self. Trust in the process, remain steadfast in your faith, and let the truth of the kingdom transform every aspect of your existence. Thank you for embarking on this profound journey. May you find the kingdom within, live in its abundance, and radiate its blessings to the world. In the stillness of the night, when all is quiet, there is a voice within you that whispers truth. This voice tells you who belongs in your life and who does not. It speaks not in anger, nor in resentment, but in calm assurance that your peace is priceless, and your journey too sacred to be derailed. The year 2025 is not about loud exits or drawn-out confrontations. It is about silence. A silence that speaks volumes, that declares, I value my energy, my growth, my destiny too much to remain tethered to what no longer serves me. You do not need to announce your departure from their lives. The ones who have drained you, doubted you, or dishonored your presence are not owed an explanation. Their chapter in your story has ended. Turning the page does not require permission, it requires courage. When you cut them off silently, you free yourself from the exhausting cycle of over-explaining, seeking closure, or mending what was never whole. You rise above the noise, choosing peace over chaos and alignment over attachment. Understand this: not everyone who started with you in the past is destined to journey with you into the future. Your life is an unfolding masterpiece, and some characters, though once significant, have played their part. Thank them silently for the lessons they brought, even if they were painful. Then, without hesitation, release them. For every ending is a new beginning. When you let go, you create space for those who truly honor your essence to step in. The power lies in your quiet resolve. Do not waste time arguing, begging, or explaining. Simply withdraw, recalibrate, and move forward. In your stillness, you will find strength. In your silence, you will find wisdom. Cut them off in 2025, not with anger, but with grace. Let them feel the absence of your light, the brilliance of your energy, and the beauty of a soul that chooses itself. And as you walk this new path, know that what is meant for you will never need to be forced. Your destiny awaits uninterrupted and unburdened. Your energy is the essence of who you are, an intricate blend of your thoughts, emotions, and spirit. It is the invisible force that propels you forward, shapes your reality, and determines the quality of your life. Yet, in a world filled with distractions, demands, and endless interactions, how often do you pause to recognize its value? How often do you assess who has access to this sacred reservoir within you? The truth is, not everyone deserves access to your energy. It is a treasure, and like any treasure, it must be guarded with intention and discernment. We often underestimate the impact of the people we allow into our inner world. Every conversation, interaction, or connection carries an energetic exchange. Some individuals bring light, inspiration, and harmony, leaving you uplifted and empowered. Others, however, drain you, sow seeds of doubt, or cloud your vision with negativity. These subtle yet significant exchanges shape your emotional and mental landscape, either nurturing your growth or stifling it. To protect your energy is not selfish, it is necessary. Imagine a garden. If you allow anyone to trample through it, uprooting flowers or planting weeds, the beauty of that space diminishes. The same principle applies to your mind and spirit. When you fail to set boundaries, you open the door for others to impose their chaos, insecurities, or toxicity onto you. Over time, this can leave you feeling depleted, disconnected from yourself, and unable to pour into the things and people that truly matter. Guarding your energy begins with awareness. Pay attention to how you feel after being around certain people. Do they inspire you or leave you questioning your worth? Do they contribute to your peace or disrupt it? Listen to these subtle signals, for they are your inner guidance system directing you toward what aligns with your higher self. Not everyone who seeks your time or attention deserves it, and that is okay. You are not obligated to meet every demand or fulfill every expectation, especially when it comes at the expense of your well-being. Discernment is key. Some connections are fleeting lessons, while others are enduring blessings. The wisdom lies in knowing the difference. Surround yourself with those who celebrate your growth, challenge you to be better, and honor the sacredness of your energy. These are the relationships that nurture your spirit and propel you toward your purpose. On the other hand, be unafraid to distance yourself from those who drain, criticize, or attempt to dim your light. Their presence in your life may serve as a lesson in boundaries and self-worth, but they are not meant to stay. Protecting your energy also requires discipline. It means saying no without guilt and prioritizing your peace above all else. It means creating spaces where you can recharge, reflect, and reconnect with yourself. This might involve solitude, meditation, or engaging in activities that fill your soul with joy and purpose. Whatever it looks like for you, make it a non-negotiable part of your routine. Your energy is not infinite, it needs to be replenished. There is great power in reclaiming your energy and redirecting it toward what truly matters. When you no longer allow others to take from you without giving back, you free yourself to invest in your dreams, passions, and self-discovery. You create a life that is a reflection of your highest values and aspirations, untainted by the negativity or demands of others. The people who genuinely care about you will respect your boundaries and honor your need to protect your energy. They will understand that your well-being is not just important for you, but for the quality of your relationship with them. Conversely, those who resist or resent your boundaries reveal their true intentions. Let them go with grace, knowing that their departure is a step toward preserving your peace. Your energy is sacred. It is not something to be spent carelessly or given to those who do not value it. It is a treasure that fuels your growth, happiness, and purpose. Guard it fiercely and watch how your life transforms when you prioritize what truly aligns with your spirit. Silence is an underestimated force, often mistaken for weakness or avoidance. Yet in its stillness lies profound power, a power that speaks volumes without uttering a single word. When it comes to cutting ties with individuals or situations that no longer serve your growth, silence can be your greatest ally. It allows you to move forward with dignity, protecting your peace and avoiding the unnecessary drama that explanations often invite. Life is a continuous journey of evolution, and as you grow, not everyone will grow with you. Some relationships, though once meaningful, outlive their purpose. Others may reveal themselves to be detrimental, draining your energy or holding you back. The decision to sever such ties is rarely easy, but it is often necessary for your well-being and progress. The question then is not whether to walk away, but how. Silence provides an answer that is both empowering and graceful. When you choose silence, you assert control over your narrative. You resist the urge to justify, explain, or defend your choices to others. Explanations often lead to counter-arguments, guilt trips, or attempts to manipulate your decision. They open the door to conflict, prolonging what should be a clean break. By staying silent, you close that door firmly, leaving no room for misunderstandings or misinterpretations. Your actions speak for themselves, making your boundaries clear without the need for verbal reinforcement. Silence also protects your dignity. Explaining your reasons for cutting ties can feel like exposing your vulnerabilities to someone who may not value them. It places your inner thoughts and emotions on display, inviting scrutiny or judgment. Silence, on the other hand, keeps your intentions private, shielding your heart and mind from unnecessary exposure. It is an act of self-respect, a way of saying, I owe myself peace more than I owe you an explanation. Silence allows you to focus on what truly matters, your own growth and healing. When you cut ties without engaging in lengthy discussions or confrontations, you free up mental and emotional space. This space can be redirected toward nurturing yourself, pursuing your goals, and fostering relationships that align with your values. The absence of drama accelerates your journey toward clarity and fulfillment, unencumbered by the distractions of unnecessary conflict. For those on the receiving end, your silence speaks volumes. It communicates that your decision is final and that you are prioritizing your well-being. While they may not understand or agree with your choice, your silence leaves no room for negotiation. It is a statement of resolve, a quiet yet firm declaration that you are stepping away for your own good. Critics may view silence as avoidance, but in reality, it requires immense strength. It is far easier to give in to the urge to explain, to seek closure through conversation, or to soften the blow with words. Silence, however, demands discipline. It asks you to trust that your decision is valid, regardless of others' opinions or reactions. It requires you to stand firm in your truth, even when it is met with confusion or resistance. There will be moments when silence feels heavy, when the absence of words seems to amplify the weight of your decision. In those moments, remind yourself of its purpose. Silence is not about punishment or neglect, it is about self-preservation and empowerment. It is a way of protecting your peace and allowing both parties to move on without unnecessary entanglement. Silence is a gift you give yourself. It is an acknowledgement that your energy, time, and focus are too valuable to be spent on fruitless explanations or prolonged goodbyes. It is an act of courage, a way of embracing change with grace and intention. As you navigate the complexities of relationships, remember this: not every ending requires words. Some chapters are closed with quiet resolve, their lessons absorbed and their purpose fulfilled. In those moments, let silence be your guide. It is a profound expression of strength, a testament to your dignity, and a pathway to freedom. There is a unique and profound peace that emerges when you release those who no longer align with your purpose. It is not a peace born from conflict or bitterness, but from clarity and self-preservation. Letting go is not always an easy decision, but it is a necessary one when the relationships around you no longer support your growth or resonate with your inner truth. Their absence is not a loss, it is an opportunity to rediscover yourself and create space for what truly matters. In life, every person we encounter serves a purpose. Some teach us, others challenge us, and a few inspire us. Yet not everyone is meant to stay. As you evolve, your goals, values, and perspectives shift, and so does your capacity for certain relationships. What once felt harmonious may begin to feel restrictive or draining. The recognition of this misalignment is the first step toward creating peace through absence. When you remove someone who no longer aligns with your purpose, you reclaim your emotional energy. Relationships, even the healthiest ones, require investment. But when the investment outweighs the return, when a connection brings more conflict than joy or more stress than support, it becomes a burden. Letting go frees you from this imbalance, allowing you to direct your energy toward pursuits and relationships that nourish your soul. This absence is not about blame or judgment, it is about recognizing that paths can diverge without malice. It is an acknowledgement that holding on out of obligation, guilt, or fear only stifles growth for both you and the other person. By stepping away, you allow them the freedom to find their own path, just as you create space for yours to unfold. Peace often feels elusive in a world filled with noise, expectations, and constant interactions. Yet when you intentionally remove the sources of discord, you invite serenity into your life. Their absence becomes a blank canvas where you can paint a life rooted in alignment and authenticity. The time and energy once consumed by mismatched relationships can now be channeled into self-discovery, healing, and the pursuit of your passions. Growth thrives in the fertile ground of solitude and intentionality. The absence of those who no longer serve your purpose clears the way for new opportunities, insights, and connections. It is in this space of absence that you can hear your inner voice more clearly, unclouded by external influences. You begin to understand what truly matters to you and who you are becoming. Letting their absence create your peace is not an act of isolation, it is an act of prioritization. It does not mean you stop loving or caring for others. Instead, it means you are choosing to love yourself enough to protect your energy and focus on your journey. It is an act of self-compassion, an understanding that you deserve relationships and experiences that uplift and empower you. Their absence also teaches you resilience. It shows you that you are capable of standing strong, even when letting go feels difficult. It reminds you that peace is not something given by others, but something cultivated within yourself. As you navigate this process, you may feel moments of doubt or sadness, but these are temporary. What remains is the lasting calm of knowing you made the right choice for your well-being. In time, you may find that the space created by their absence attracts new connections and opportunities that align perfectly with your purpose. These are the relationships that inspire you, challenge you in meaningful ways, and support your growth. By letting go of what no longer fits, you make room for what is meant to be. The absence of those who no longer align with your purpose is not a void but a gift. It is a doorway to peace, a chance to breathe deeply and live authentically. It is the realization that your life is too precious to be filled with anything less than what serves your highest good. When you embrace this truth, you unlock the power to shape your reality, creating a life of harmony, growth, and serenity. The year 2025 stands as a pivotal moment, a call to action, a chance to break free from the chains of toxic patterns that have held you back for far too long. It is an invitation to reclaim your power, to step out of cycles of hurt, betrayal, and relationships that drain your energy and dim your light. This is not just about moving on, it's about choosing better for yourself, because you deserve more than the pain of repeating the same mistakes. Toxic patterns don't arise overnight. They are often the result of learned behaviors, unaddressed wounds, and unspoken fears. They manifest in relationships, habits, and thought processes that keep you stuck in a loop of disappointment and frustration. These patterns become so ingrained that they start to feel normal, even though they harm you. Recognizing them is the first step toward freedom. Detachment from these patterns is not an act of avoidance or indifference, it is an act of courage and self-love. It requires you to look deeply into your life and identify what no longer serves you. This might mean letting go of relationships that consistently bring pain, or stepping away from environments that stifle your growth. It might involve unlearning behaviors that perpetuate self-sabotage or confronting beliefs that make you settle for less than you deserve. It begins with awareness. You must be willing to see the patterns for what they are, without justification or denial. Ask yourself, why do I keep returning to situations that hurt me? What am I seeking in these cycles, and why do I believe I cannot find it elsewhere? Often the answers reveal a fear of change, a fear of loneliness, or a belief that you are unworthy of something better. These fears are illusions, powerful but untrue, and they lose their grip the moment you challenge them. Once you are aware, the next step is to take action. This is where the work becomes difficult but transformative. Ending toxic patterns means making choices that align with your higher self, even when those choices feel uncomfortable or unfamiliar. It might mean walking away from someone you care about because their presence consistently drains your spirit. It might mean setting firm boundaries and standing by them no matter how others react. It might mean seeking help to address the wounds that keep drawing you into harmful dynamics. Detachment is not about cutting people off impulsively or burning bridges in anger. It is about intentionally choosing what is best for your mental, emotional, and spiritual health. It is about creating space for relationships and experiences that uplift and nourish you. This process may feel lonely at times, but remember, solitude is not emptiness, it is an opportunity for self-discovery and healing. As you step into 2025, let it be a year of empowerment. Let it be the year you say enough to the cycles of hurt and betrayal. Choose to surround yourself with people who value you, who reciprocate your kindness, and who encourage your growth. Choose habits that bring you closer to your goals and environments that inspire creativity and joy. Every choice you make to detach from toxicity is a declaration that you believe in your worth. Breaking free from toxic patterns is not a one-time event, it is an ongoing journey. There will be moments when you are tempted to fall back into old ways, moments when the familiar feels safer than the unknown. In those moments, remind yourself of why you started. Remember the pain of staying in those cycles and the freedom you felt when you began to let go. Hold on to the vision of the life you are creating, a life of peace, purpose, and authenticity. The year 2025 is not just another year, it is a turning point. It is your chance to redefine what you allow into your life and what you walk away from. Detach from the toxic patterns that have weighed you down and step boldly into a future where you choose better for yourself. You have the power to create a life that reflects your true worth. Begin now, and don't look back. Life is a constant journey of growth, evolution, and self-discovery. Along this path, the relationships we nurture and the connections we hold shape who we are and influence the direction of our lives. In the pursuit of a meaningful and fulfilled existence, alignment must take precedence over attachment. This means prioritizing relationships that elevate you spiritually and emotionally, rather than clinging to those that keep you stagnant or diminish your light. Attachment often arises from a place of fear, the fear of losing someone, the fear of being alone, or the fear of change. It convinces you to hold on, even when the relationship no longer serves your highest good. It whispers that any connection is better than none, that the discomfort of staying is less daunting than the uncertainty of letting go. But this fear blinds you to a profound truth: not all attachments are beneficial, and not all relationships are meant to last. Alignment, on the other hand, is a conscious choice. It is the intentional act of seeking relationships that resonate with your values, aspirations, and inner peace. These are the connections that inspire you to grow, that challenge you in ways that are nurturing, and that support your journey toward becoming your best self. Relationships rooted in alignment feel expansive, they add to your life rather than deplete it. To prioritize alignment, you must first understand yourself. Who are you at your core? What do you value most deeply? What are your dreams, and what kind of energy do you wish to surround yourself with? When you have clarity about these things, you can better discern which relationships align with your essence and which ones do not. This self-awareness becomes a compass, guiding you toward connections that uplift and away from those that weigh you down. Choosing alignment over attachment often requires difficult decisions. You may find yourself facing the reality that some of the relationships you've cherished are no longer compatible with your growth. This is not a reflection of failure or inadequacy, but a natural part of life's evolution. People change, circumstances shift, and paths diverge. It takes courage to acknowledge when a relationship has run its course, and even more courage to let it go with grace. Letting go of stagnant relationships does not mean you stop caring for the people involved. It means recognizing that staying attached out of obligation or familiarity is unfair to both parties. It prevents you from pursuing relationships that truly nourish your soul and hinders the other person from finding connections that align with their path. Releasing such attachments is an act of love for yourself and for them. Aligned relationships, in contrast, are those that feel effortless yet meaningful. They are marked by mutual respect, understanding, and a shared desire to see each other thrive. These connections do not demand that you shrink yourself to fit into someone else's life. Instead, they celebrate your individuality while complementing your growth. Aligned relationships encourage vulnerability and authenticity, allowing you to be seen and accepted for who you truly are. When you prioritize alignment, you create space for new possibilities. You attract people who match your energy, who share your vision, and who contribute to your journey in profound and positive ways. This doesn't mean every aligned relationship is free of challenges, but the challenges within these connections are opportunities for growth rather than sources of pain. The transition from attachment to alignment is not always smooth. It may involve moments of solitude, reflection, and even grief as you release what no longer serves you. But in this space of release, you find freedom, the freedom to choose relationships that honor your worth and elevate your spirit. Life is too short to spend entangled in relationships that leave you feeling stagnant, drained, or unfulfilled. By prioritizing alignment over attachment, you honor the sacredness of your journey. You choose to surround yourself with people who inspire, uplift, and support you, creating a life that reflects your highest potential. In this space of alignment, you will find not only meaningful connections but also a deeper sense of peace and purpose. Life is a series of chapters, each marked by new experiences, lessons, and opportunities for growth. As you evolve, so too must the people and environments you allow into your space. This is not an act of dismissal, but one of alignment. Not everyone from your past is meant to walk with you into your future, and that is a truth you must embrace without guilt. Letting go of relationships that no longer serve you is an act of self-love and a necessary step toward becoming the person you are destined to be. The connections we form are not always meant to last forever. Some people come into your life for a season, offering valuable lessons or companionship during a specific period. They play their role in your journey and help shape the person you are. But as your goals, values, and aspirations shift, it becomes clear that not all relationships can or should continue. This recognition is not an indictment of the past, it is an acknowledgement of growth. It is natural to feel guilt when contemplating the end of a relationship, especially if that connection once brought you joy or comfort. You may worry about the other person's feelings or fear being perceived as ungrateful or selfish. However, holding on to relationships out of guilt only creates resentment and stagnation. True gratitude for the past allows you to release it with love, recognizing that letting go benefits both parties. Clinging to relationships that no longer align with your path does a disservice to yourself and to the other person, who also deserves connections that resonate with their growth. Moving forward requires clarity and courage. Begin by assessing the relationships in your life. Ask yourself, do these connections uplift me, inspire me, and align with who I am becoming? Or do they hold me back, drain my energy, or keep me tethered to an outdated version of myself? This process is not about judging others, but about being honest with yourself. It is about recognizing what serves your highest good and what does not. Letting go does not have to be a dramatic or bitter experience. Sometimes relationships naturally fade as priorities shift and paths diverge. Other times it requires a conscious decision to step away, especially when the relationship becomes toxic or incompatible with your growth. In either case, it is essential to release with grace and compassion, honoring the role the person played in your life while acknowledging that their chapter in your story has come to an end. As you let go, remember that this is not about abandoning people or turning your back on them. It is about creating space for new connections that align with your current and future self. Your journey is constantly evolving, and the people who are meant to be part of it will resonate with your energy and vision. These new relationships will reflect the growth you have achieved and the person you are becoming. It is also important to understand that letting go does not erase the value of the past. The relationships you release have contributed to your story in meaningful ways. They have taught you lessons, provided support, and shaped your perspective. Carry these lessons with you as you move forward, but do not feel obligated to carry the people as well. Their role in your life was significant, but it does not mean it must continue indefinitely. Your new chapter requires new people because growth demands change. This is not a sign of failure or disloyalty, but of progress. Just as you outgrow certain habits, beliefs, or environments, you also outgrow relationships that no longer align with your purpose. Embracing this truth allows you to step into your future unburdened by the weight of outdated connections. Letting go is an act of trust in yourself, in your journey, and in the belief that what lies ahead is better than what you leave behind. It is an affirmation that you are worthy of relationships that reflect your growth, support your dreams, and inspire your best self. Release the past without guilt and open your heart to the possibilities that await in your future. This is your journey, your story, and your time to step into the next chapter with confidence and grace. In life, growth is inevitable, and with growth comes the need to make choices that honor your journey and your peace. Cutting ties silently, guarding your energy, prioritizing alignment over attachment, and releasing stagnant relationships are all acts of self-love and courage. These decisions are not acts of rejection, but affirmations of your worth and commitment to becoming the person you are meant to be. As you step into the new chapters of your life, remember that letting go is not about loss, but about making space for something greater: peace, purpose, and relationships that truly uplift you. Thank you for allowing me to guide you through this reflection. May your path forward be filled with clarity, strength, and the fulfillment of your deepest aspirations. Ladies and gentlemen, let us journey beyond the veil of the ordinary and into the realm of the extraordinary. For too long, the word witch has been misunderstood, misrepresented, and cloaked in fear. Today, I invite you to see it in its true light, a symbol of mastery over self, a connection to the unseen, and a deep understanding of the laws that govern creation. The first mark of a witch is the power of intention. This is not a fleeting wish or a passing desire, but a deliberate, focused thought imbued with emotion. They know that what they hold steady in their mind's eye becomes their reality. Like the sculptor who sees the statue within the marble, a witch molds their world with the clarity of their intention. The second mark is the command of energy. A witch does not beg or plead with life. They direct their energy with precision, understanding that the universe is not moved by need but by conviction. Wherever they place their attention, they know creation follows. The third mark is the seal of knowing. Faith is their foundation, not a blind faith in something outside of themselves, but a deep trust in their own creative power. They do not hope, they know, and in that knowing lies their magic. The fourth mark is the language of symbols. Rituals, objects, and symbols are not mere superstition. They are tools, keys that unlock the doors to higher consciousness. A witch uses these tools to bridge the gap between the seen and the unseen, turning abstract desires into tangible realities. The fifth and final mark is the spirit of transformation. A witch is an alchemist, transmuting the mundane into the divine, the ordinary into the extraordinary. They embrace the chaos of life, knowing it holds the seeds of creation. Where others see destruction, they see rebirth. But perhaps the most profound truth about these marks is this: they are not reserved for a chosen few. Each of us holds the potential to embody them. The witch is not an outsider, it is the part of you that dares to believe in your own power. The part that remembers you are not a victim of life, but its creator. So as you leave here today, remember the marks of a witch are not in what they wear, where they live, or how they are perceived by others. The marks are written in their thoughts, their faith, and their ability to turn their inner world into an outer masterpiece. The question is not whether you possess these marks, the question is whether you will awaken to them. A witch is not recognized by the cloak they wear, the incantations they recite, or the tools they hold. Their power lies not in the external, but in the unseen mastery of their inner world. It is within this sacred realm, where thoughts are formed and emotions flow, that the true essence of their craft emerges. The power of intention is the cornerstone of this mastery, a force so subtle, yet so profound, that it weaves the fabric of reality itself. To understand this power, one must first grasp that the universe is a mirror, endlessly reflecting the inner state of the individual. The witch knows this truth intuitively. They do not look outward for validation, nor do they chase after circumstances to find fulfillment. Instead, they retreat into the sanctuary of their mind, sculpting their desires with precision and clarity. For them, thoughts are not idle musings but the seeds of creation, each one carrying the potential to shape the world around them. Intention is not merely a wish or a fleeting desire, it is a deliberate act of will. A witch understands that their intention must be clear, focused and unwavering, for the universe does not respond to confusion or contradiction. Imagine a painter standing before a blank canvas. Without a clear vision of what they wish to create, the strokes of their brush would be aimless, resulting in chaos rather than art. The witch, like the painter, holds a vivid image in their mind, pouring their energy into it until it becomes as real to them as the ground beneath their feet. But intention alone is not enough, it must be fueled by feeling. Thoughts without emotion are lifeless, mere shadows of possibility. The witch breathes life into their intentions through the power of their emotions, aligning their inner state with the reality they wish to manifest. They do not merely think of abundance, love, or success, they feel it as if it is already theirs. This emotional resonance creates a magnetic pull, drawing their desires toward them with an irresistible force. The witch's craft is one of alignment. They do not force their will upon the world, instead, they align themselves with the frequency of their desires. They understand that every intention carries a vibration, and to manifest it, they must become a match for that vibration. If they seek love, they embody love. If they desire wealth, they cultivate a mindset of abundance. Through this process, they transform themselves into a vessel for their desires, allowing them to flow effortlessly into their lives. Doubt is the enemy of intention, a shadow that dims the light of creation. The witch guards their mind against it, knowing that even the smallest seed of uncertainty can take root and grow, choking the life out of their desires. They practice faith, not a blind faith in something external, but a deep, unshakable belief in their own power. This faith acts as a shield, protecting their intentions from the corrosive influence of fear and doubt. Patience, too, is a vital component of the witch's mastery. They do not rush or despair when their desires do not materialize immediately. Instead, they trust in the timing of the universe, knowing that the seeds they have planted will bloom when the conditions are right. This patience is not passive, it is an active state of trust, a quiet confidence that the unseen forces of creation are working in their favor. The tools and rituals often associated with witches' candles, herbs, chants are not the source of their power but extensions of their intention. These tools serve as physical anchors, helping to focus their energy and amplify their desires. However, a true witch knows that these tools are not necessary. Their craft begins and ends within them, in the boundless realm of their mind and spirit. Perhaps the most remarkable aspect of this power is its universality. It is not exclusive to witches or mystics, but is available to all who dare to claim it. Each person possesses the ability to shape their reality through intention, yet few realize this potential. The witch, however, lives in the awareness of this truth. They do not see themselves as separate from the universe, but as a part of it, intricately connected to its rhythms and cycles. In a world that often values action over thought, the witch stands as a testament to the quiet, transformative power of the mind. They remind us that true change begins within, that the most profound creations are born not from the hands, but from the heart and mind. To embody this power is to step into the role of the creator, to take responsibility for one's life and the reality one inhabits. It is a path that requires discipline, faith, and courage, a path that leads to freedom. For when one masters their inner world, they master the outer one as well. And in that mastery lies the essence of a witch's craft. In the vast fabric of existence, everything is energy. It moves, flows, and responds to the direction it is given. Those who understand this truth gain a profound advantage, for they become not mere participants in life but creators of it. To command energy is to master the invisible threads that weave reality together, shaping outcomes with intention and focus. It is not magic in the sense of mysticism, it is the art of understanding and working with the laws that govern the unseen. They who command energy know that it flows where focus goes. Focus is not a passive act, it is an active force. When you place your attention on something, you are not simply observing it, you are feeding it, empowering it, and inviting it to grow. The witch, or anyone who seeks mastery over their life, understands this principle deeply. They do not scatter their focus on distractions or trivialities. Instead, they concentrate their energy on what they desire, knowing that where they direct their attention, they direct the flow of creation itself. This is why clarity is essential. If one's focus is divided or unclear, the energy they project becomes scattered, ineffective, and weak. Imagine water flowing through a wide, shallow stream. Its force is diluted, unable to carve deeply into the earth. But when that same water is channeled into a narrow, focused stream, its power intensifies, capable of shaping landscapes. So too does energy work through focus. It gains momentum, force, and direction when given a clear path. To command energy is also to recognize its neutral nature. Energy does not discriminate between positive and negative focus. It simply follows the direction it is given. If one's mind is filled with fear, doubt, or resentment, that is where energy flows, magnifying those conditions. Conversely, when the mind is attuned to abundance, love, and confidence, the energy amplifies those states. The master of energy is vigilant in their thoughts, guarding against the intrusion of negativity and cultivating a mental environment that aligns with their desires. But commanding energy is not merely about thinking or feeling, it is about alignment. The one who wields this power understands that thoughts, emotions, and actions must be in harmony. They cannot think of wealth while feeling poor or act out of scarcity while desiring abundance. Such contradictions dilute the flow of energy, creating resistance and confusion. Alignment is the key. It is the state where one's inner world reflects the outer world they wish to create. This alignment often requires stillness, for energy responds most powerfully in the absence of chaos. In stillness, the currents of energy can be directed with precision, unclouded by doubt or distraction. This is why practices such as meditation, visualization, and mindfulness are so effective. They quiet the mind, focus the attention, and allow the individual to harness the full power of their energy. In this state, even the smallest intention becomes a seed with the potential to grow into a mighty tree. The command of energy also demands responsibility. To wield such power without wisdom is to invite unintended consequences. Energy is not a tool for manipulation or harm, for its flow is cyclical. What one sends out into the world inevitably returns. The master of energy acts with integrity, aligning their intentions with the greater good, knowing that the currents they set in motion will shape not only their reality but also the realities of those around them. This understanding brings freedom, for it reveals that one is never truly powerless. No matter the external circumstances, the command of energy allows for transformation from within. Even in the face of adversity, the one who masters energy can shift their focus, redirecting the flow toward solutions, opportunities, and growth. They do not resist the challenges life presents, but use them as opportunities to strengthen their command, bending the currents of life to align with their will. This bending is not forceful, it is cooperative. Energy is not something to be conquered or controlled in a rigid sense. It is a dance, a partnership between the individual and the universal forces that govern existence. The master of energy moves with these forces, not against them, trusting in their rhythm and flow. They understand that to push too hard is to create resistance, while to move with the natural currents is to harness their full power. To command energy is to command oneself. It is an art of discipline, focus, and intentionality. It is the recognition that you are not a victim of the world's currents, but a navigator of them. You have the power to direct the flow, to choose where your energy goes, and to shape the reality that unfolds before you. In this mastery lies true freedom, for when you can command your energy, you can command your life. You are no longer at the mercy of circumstances or external forces. You become the creator, the architect of your destiny, bending the currents of life to align with your will and creating a reality that reflects your deepest desires and highest aspirations. At the core of every true practitioner's power lies an unshakable certainty, a deep, unyielding belief in their ability to shape reality through the power of their mind and spirit. This certainty is not born of external validation, nor is it a fleeting hope or wishful thinking. It is a profound inner knowing, a seal of conviction that what they imagine with clarity and conviction must come to pass. This is the essence of their craft, the foundation upon which their reality is built. This knowing is not a product of arrogance or delusion. It is a quiet and resolute confidence born of understanding universal laws. The witch, or any master of the unseen, recognizes that imagination is the blueprint of creation. Everything that exists in the physical world first took shape in the invisible realm of thought and intention. To know this is to grasp the ultimate creative power inherent in every individual. It is to see oneself not as a passive observer of life, but as its active architect. Doubt has no place in this realm. The witch understands that doubt is a crack in the foundation of their reality, a weakness that undermines the structure before it can fully form. When one doubts their power, they split their energy, sending conflicting signals to the universe. The result is chaos or stagnation, as the currents of creation are disrupted by uncertainty. The seal of knowing is the antidote to this. It is a shield against fear, insecurity, and hesitation, a steadfast belief that the imagined outcome is already assured, even if unseen. This certainty is not dependent on external circumstances or evidence. The witch does not wait for signs or confirmations from the world to believe in their power. They know that reality bends to the strength of conviction, not the other way around. When they imagine a desire fulfilled, they hold it in their mind with such clarity and emotional resonance that it becomes more real to them than the physical world. They live as though it is already done, walking through life with the assurance that what they have claimed internally must eventually manifest externally. This level of knowing requires practice and discipline. It is not enough to affirm or visualize sporadically. One must cultivate a state of unwavering belief. This is achieved by immersing oneself in the feeling of the desired outcome, repeatedly affirming its reality until it becomes an unshakable truth. The witch does not allow fleeting doubts or external setbacks to deter them. They see such challenges as illusions, mere tests of their resolve, and they remain anchored in their inner knowing, regardless of appearances. The seal of knowing is also deeply tied to trust in oneself, in the process, and in the unseen forces that govern creation. The witch understands that they are co-creating with the universe, that their desires are not random but are in harmony with the greater flow of existence. They do not struggle or strive to make things happen. Instead, they align themselves with the natural rhythms of creation, trusting that their inner certainty will draw their desires to them at the perfect time and in the perfect way. This trust does not imply passivity. On the contrary, it empowers action taken from a place of alignment and clarity. When the witch knows that their vision is assured, they act with confidence and purpose, free from hesitation or fear of failure. Their actions are not driven by desperation or doubt, but by the joy of bringing their inner vision into physical form. They become a conduit through which the unseen becomes seen, channeling their certainty into every thought, word, and deed. The power of knowing also extends beyond the individual. It influences the energy around them, drawing people, opportunities, and circumstances into alignment with their vision. This magnetic quality is not forced, it is a natural result of their unshakable conviction. Others are drawn to their certainty, sensing the strength and clarity of their belief. This is not manipulation, it is the effortless flow of energy responding to the power of focused intention. The seal of knowing is transformative. It allows the individual to transcend limitations, to rise above the constraints of doubt and fear, and to step fully into their creative power. It is not an external gift or a skill to be acquired, it is a state of being, a recognition of the inherent power that exists within every person. To embrace this knowing is to awaken to one's true nature as a creator, to claim the ability to shape reality according to one's highest vision. With this seal firmly in place, there is no room for hesitation. The witch walks with confidence, speaks with authority, and acts with purpose, knowing that the universe will rearrange itself to reflect their inner state. This is the ultimate freedom, the freedom to create, to imagine, and to bring forth that which was once only a thought. It is the power to live not as a victim of circumstances, but as the master of one's destiny, guided by the unshakable certainty that what is imagined with conviction must come to pass. Symbols, rituals, and visualizations hold an undeniable power, transcending their surface appearance to serve as profound tools for accessing the unseen realms of consciousness. Those who understand the language of symbols wield them not as mere decorations or theatrical gestures, but as keys to unlock the mysteries of the mind and the universe. To such practitioners, these elements become bridges between the tangible and intangible, the known and the infinite. Symbols are not confined to shapes, images, or objects. They are vessels carrying layers of meaning, resonating deeply with the subconscious mind. Unlike spoken or written words, symbols bypass the analytical part of the brain, communicating directly with the part of us that understands the language of archetypes, emotions, and intuition. A circle, for example, is not just a geometric form, it is eternity, wholeness, and unity. A flame is more than fire, it represents transformation, passion, and the power of renewal. When a practitioner uses a symbol, they are engaging with these deeper meanings, inviting the energies they represent into their reality. This is not superstition or blind faith, it is a deliberate act of aligning with the vibrations that symbols carry. By focusing on a symbol, one directs their mind to resonate with its essence, creating a powerful connection between the inner world and the forces they seek to harness. Rituals amplify this connection. A ritual, no matter how simple or elaborate, is a physical enactment of intention. It serves as a container for focus, channeling scattered energies into a unified purpose. The lighting of a candle, the drawing of a sigil, or the repetition of a chant are not random acts, they are deliberate, calculated movements designed to anchor the practitioner in the present moment while directing their thoughts toward a specific goal. Through these actions, the mundane transforms into the sacred, and the practitioner steps into a state of heightened awareness. In this heightened state, the boundaries between the conscious and subconscious blur. Rituals create a liminal space, a threshold where the practitioner can access deeper realms of their mind and tap into universal energies. It is here, in this in-between state, that transformation occurs. The ritual serves as a catalyst, shifting the practitioner's inner landscape and aligning it with their desired outcome. Visualization is another essential component of this language. To visualize is to create a vivid mental image of a desired outcome, imbuing it with emotion and detail until it feels as real as the physical world. The act of visualization is more than mere daydreaming, it is a powerful form of rehearsal for reality. When the mind sees and feels an experience as if it has already happened, it begins to rewire itself to align with that reality. Neural pathways are strengthened, behaviors shift, and the energetic vibrations of the individual change to match their vision. Symbols often enhance visualization. A practitioner might visualize a golden key to represent unlocking opportunities or a rising sun to signify new beginnings. These images are not arbitrary, they resonate with the subconscious mind, guiding it to focus on the desired state. The more vividly the practitioner imagines these symbols, the more powerful their effect. But the language of symbols, rituals, and visualization is not limited to manifesting external desires. It is also a means of self-discovery and transformation. Each symbol holds a mirror to the practitioner, reflecting aspects of their inner world that may be hidden or suppressed. The rituals become journeys into the depths of the psyche, unearthing truths and clearing blockages that hinder growth. Visualization too serves as a tool for inner healing, allowing the practitioner to rewrite their narrative and step into a more empowered version of themselves. This language is universal, yet deeply personal. While the meanings of certain symbols and rituals are shared across cultures and traditions, their true power lies in the individual's relationship with them. A symbol that resonates deeply with one person may hold little significance for another. The practitioner understands this and chooses their tools intuitively, guided by what speaks to their heart and spirit. At its core, the language of symbols, rituals, and visualization is about focus and intention. It is a way of directing the mind, anchoring it in the present, while simultaneously projecting it into the desired future. Each act, each image, becomes a declaration to the universe, a statement of faith in the practitioner's ability to co-create their reality. In using these tools, the practitioner does not rely on them as crutches or external sources of power. They recognize that the true power lies within themselves. The symbols and rituals are merely expressions of this inner strength. They are reminders of the vast creative potential that resides in every individual, waiting to be awakened and directed. Through this language, the practitioner bridges the gap between the seen and the unseen, the conscious and the subconscious. They step into a role of mastery, using symbols to command energy, rituals to focus intention, and visualization to shape reality. In doing so, they align their inner world with the outer, transforming both in the process. It is not magic in the conventional sense, it is the art of understanding and wielding the profound forces that govern existence, creating a life that reflects their highest aspirations and deepest truths. True power requires no announcement, no display to convince the world of its presence. It moves silently, assuredly, and unshaken. A witch embodies this truth, walking through life with a quiet confidence that does not seek validation or acknowledgement from others. Their strength lies not in outward expressions, but in an unbreakable connection to the unseen realm, a bond so profound that it speaks volumes without uttering a word. This silence is not emptiness, it is fullness. It is the absence of noise, not the absence of substance. A witch understands that the loudest forces are often the least effective. True power does not need to prove itself. It is self-evident, radiating a presence that is felt, not heard. Like the stillness before a storm or the depth of a calm ocean, their quiet demeanor holds immense energy beneath its surface, waiting to flow with intention when the moment calls for it. Operating in silence does not mean isolation or secrecy born of fear. It is a deliberate choice to protect the sanctity of one's power. When a person seeks external validation, they open themselves to the opinions, judgments, and energies of others, diluting their focus and weakening their resolve. A witch knows better than to scatter their energy in this way. Instead, they conserve it, channeling it inward to strengthen their connection to their inner world and the unseen forces they work with. This connection to the unseen is the foundation of their confidence. They do not rely on the shifting sands of external circumstances to define their worth or validate their efforts. They are rooted in something far deeper, the knowledge that the invisible realm governs the visible. While others may scramble for control in the physical world, the witch calmly directs their energy where it matters most, knowing that their inner state will inevitably shape their outer reality. Their silence is also a form of trust in themselves, in the process, and in the forces that work in harmony with their intentions. They do not need to shout their plans from the rooftops or seek reassurance from others, for they understand that creation begins in the stillness of the mind and heart. In this silence, they nurture their visions, allowing them to grow undisturbed by the noise of doubt or the interference of external influences. This quiet confidence extends to their interactions with others. A witch does not feel the need to dominate or impose their will, for they know their power is not dependent on recognition or compliance. Their presence alone commands respect, not through intimidation but through the strength of their authenticity. People may not always understand what sets them apart, but they cannot deny the energy they carry, a calm assurance that speaks of someone who knows who they are and what they are capable of. Silence also serves as a shield. In a world full of noise, Where opinions are shouted and distractions abound, silence becomes a refuge. It is a space where the witch can retreat to center themselves, free from the chaos that seeks to pull them off course. In this sacred stillness, they can hear the whispers of intuition, the guidance of the unseen, and the voice of their own soul. These subtle messages are often drowned out by the clamor of the external world, but in silence they become clear and powerful. This approach does not mean a witch is passive or withdrawn. On the contrary, their actions are deliberate and impactful, born of a clarity that silence provides. When they speak, their words carry weight because they are not wasted on trivial matters. When they act, their movements are purposeful, driven by inner alignment rather than external pressure. Their power is not in constant motion but in precise and focused intention. To move in silence is also to embrace mystery, both for oneself and others. A witch does not reveal all their thoughts, plans, or feelings, for they understand that mystery holds power. What is unknown cannot be interfered with, manipulated, or diminished. This sense of the unknown draws others to them, not out of curiosity alone, but because it is a rare quality in a world where so much is overshared and overexplained. Their silence becomes magnetic, a quiet pull that intrigues and inspires. The silence of power is about mastery of oneself, one's energy, and one's connection to the greater forces of existence. It is the realization that true strength does not come from noise or spectacle, but from the unwavering stillness within. It is a state of being that requires no audience, no applause, and no affirmation, for it is complete in itself. In this silence, the witch moves through life with grace and certainty, shaping their reality with subtle yet profound force. Their quiet confidence becomes a testament to the truth that power is not something to be displayed, but something to be embodied. And when power is embodied in this way, it speaks louder than words ever could. Transformation is the essence of power, the art of taking what is and shaping it into what could be. A true alchemist of the soul knows this intimately, for their craft is not bound by circumstance or limitation. Instead, they wield transformation as their gift, their purpose, and their truth. They do not flinch in the face of challenges or crumble beneath the weight of despair. To them, trials are not barriers but opportunities, stepping stones to greater heights. They take what others see as ashes and craft beauty. They do not resist the storm but merge with its energy, becoming the very force that transforms. To transform is not merely to change one's outer circumstances. It is a deep, inner alchemy, a process of turning the lead of human suffering, doubt, and fear into the goal of resilience, strength, and wisdom. This transformation begins within the soul, where the raw material of life's experiences is melted down and recast into something more profound. A witch understands this process as both a surrender and an assertion of will. It is a surrender to the flow of life, accepting that storms will come, and an assertion of their power to shape what follows. Trials are inevitable, but the witch does not see them as enemies. They view challenges as initiations, necessary steps in their evolution. Every difficulty carries within it the seeds of transformation, waiting to be cultivated. It is not the storm itself that defines them, but how they respond to its call. Rather than shrinking back in fear or denial, they step forward boldly, embracing the chaos as a force of renewal. They understand that within destruction lies the potential for creation, and within every ending the promise of a new beginning. This understanding requires courage, for transformation is not a passive act. It is a journey into the unknown, a willingness to face the darkest parts of oneself and the world. A witch meets this darkness with open eyes and an open heart, knowing that the very pain they face holds the wisdom they seek. They do not shy away from the fire but step into it, allowing it to burn away what no longer serves them. In this way they become like the phoenix, rising from the ashes of their former selves with renewed strength and clarity. But transformation is not only about enduring trials, it is about transcending them. It is the ability to take what was meant to harm and turn it into something that heals. It is turning sorrow into compassion, failure into resilience, and loss into gratitude. a witch does this not through denial or suppression, but through deep, conscious engagement with their experiences. They mine their trials for meaning, extracting the lessons and insights that will guide them forward. This process is not linear or easy. Transformation demands patience and faith, for it often unfolds in ways that are not immediately visible. Like the caterpillar that dissolves within its cocoon before emerging as a butterfly, the witch understands that the most profound changes occur in the unseen realms. They trust in this process, even when it feels chaotic or uncertain, knowing that every step is part of their growth. In embracing transformation, a witch also embraces their power as a creator. They recognize that they are not at the mercy of external forces but are active participants in shaping their reality. This does not mean they can control every aspect of life, but they can control how they respond, how they perceive, and how they move forward. This is their alchemy, the ability to take whatever life gives them and use it as material for their evolution. The storm then becomes a metaphor for their power. Just as the storm reshapes the landscape, a witch reshapes their inner and outer worlds. They do not fight against the winds of change but harness their energy, using it to propel themselves forward. They become the storm not in a destructive sense but in a transformative one, embodying the force of change with grace and purpose. This spirit of transformation is not reserved for moments of crisis, it is a way of life. A witch continually seeks growth, understanding that stagnation is the only true death. They are always evolving, always seeking to refine and expand their understanding of themselves and the world. Even in moments of peace, they remain attuned to the subtle shifts within and around them, ready to adapt and grow. In their hands, every experience becomes a tool for transformation. They turn wounds into wisdom, obstacles into opportunities, and endings into new beginnings. They do this not through magic in the traditional sense, but through the profound power of their perspective, intention, and resilience. A witch's spirit of transformation is a reminder that we are all alchemists, capable of turning our trials into triumphs and our ashes into beauty. It is an invitation to embrace life's storms, not with fear, but with the knowledge that within them lies the power to create, to grow, and to become. By embodying this spirit, they show that true transformation begins not with resistance, but with a willingness to step into the fire and emerge reborn. In every fiber of their being, the witch embodies transformation, silence, intention, and the mastery of energy and symbols. They are the alchemists of life, turning trials into triumphs, moving with quiet confidence, and shaping their reality with precision and purpose. Their connection to the unseen realm is unshakable, and their power is not in grand displays, but in the subtle yet profound way they command their inner and outer worlds. The true essence of their craft lies in their ability to become the storm, to harness the currents of life, and to emerge from every challenge stronger, wiser, and more aligned with their purpose. Through their practice, they remind us that we all carry within us the potential to transform, to create, and to rise above. Thank you for allowing me to share these insights with you. May you walk forward with the quiet confidence of one who knows their power and the wisdom to use it well.